and welcome to Tell Us More. I'm Neaulani.kuamoo-peck and my colleague.
Karen.schleif.
We're both from eXp Realty. We're agents there. And today's topic involving buying a house. We're going to talk to you about the pros and cons of buying versus renting. Or better yet, renting versus buying. And I'm saying it that way because we're going to start right off with Karen, talking about the benefits, pros and cons of renting.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, I just talked to somebody the other day, and I talked them out of buying. Because there is, there's pros and cons of everything. But, as real estate agents, our job, of course, we want to sell you a house, right?
Yes.
Whether on the sell side or the buy side. But the point is, we really do care about you. And when you talk to somebody, you want to make sure that they tell you the truth, and they give you the information that you need so you can make a good decision, because buying a house is not like, oh, let's just go buy a house, especially here in Hawaii.
It's a big investment.
It's a huge investment, and it really depends on your circumstance. So
Yes.
today I have chosen what are the advantages or disadvantages of renting. One of the advantages of renting, for example, when you come, let's say you come from somewhere else and you come to Hawaii and you don't know the area, you can read all you like on the internet, what people say, but until you actually move into a place, put up with your neighbors and the traffic and the dogs or whatever it is, renting will be a good deal because it's temporary. You can always say, I'm out of here, and just leave, right? And so, but then again, you can try another neighborhood. But if you are not mobile, in other words, you got lots and lots of stuff, renting might not be the way to go because it's expensive. But the thing about renting is that here in Hawaii, it is your security deposit, which is 1 month's rent. Okay, and then of course your first month's rent. And if you have pets, then a lot of times there's a pet deposit, and it could be as much as a month's rent. So but it's still pretty inexpensive. And but the thing is that you got to do what the landlord tells you to do. If they say move, you got to move. They say no nails in the wall, your pictures don't get unpacked. And so that's kind of the upside and the downside of renting. But now we're going to talk about, what about buying? What is the advantages of buying?
The first thing that people talk about when it comes to advantages of buying is, of course, the tax benefits. The interest that you pay on the mortgage is tax deductible, and oftentimes there are tax credits that are tied into buying a home. The next thing is that when you buy a home, you can do what you want. You're not living under somebody else's rules. You don't have a landlord you need to answer to. You want to put pictures on the wall, go right ahead. You want to fill it full of furniture, go right ahead. It's all yours. The other advantage to buying is oftentimes, and this is because of today's low interest rates, oftentimes the monthly mortgage is less than what the rent is for a comparable property. The other thing too, tying in with today's interest rates, is that it's easier to qualify to buy a home because the interest rates are lower. And in fact, I understand in talking to some of the lenders that they've even lowered some of their restrictions to where it used to be you had to have a credit rating of 720 or more. Now they actually go down to 640, and depending on the program.
That is amazing.
I know, it's unbelievable. Never used to go below 700. So another advantage of buying. The biggest advantage of buying is that you plan to stay in the home for a while. You're not going to be mobile and needing to move. You've decided that's your neighborhood. So now you're going to build equity. You can kind of think of it as a long-term savings account, because when they track real estate statistics, over time, it always goes up. It has its ups and downs, but for the most part, if you've got that long term that you want to stay there, it does go up, and you can build yourself the equity. Every dollar you pay in your mortgage is going towards that equity, which is why we say you can build your wealth through real estate. And this is just one of the examples. But the downside, so let's talk about downside.
Okay.
There is a downside, and we hate to have to tell you this, because as real estate agents, our goal is to help people buy and sell, not rent. However, in the interest, as Karen said, of providing the best service for all of our clients, we will give you the both sides of the picture every single time. It's our obligation. So the downside is that, yes, you're locked into that neighborhood. Better get along with those neighbors, because if you don't like their barking dog, guess what? There's nothing you can do about it. You could go out and get yourself a barking dog, perhaps. But anyway. The other downside about buying a house is that the savings in the house, the wealth that you're building, the equity that we talk about, is long term. So if you're thinking, well, I want to take $500,000 that this house would have cost me, and I want to put it into something that's going to make me some serious money in just a few years. I don't want to wait long term. Then you want to rent. You don't want to buy, because it is going to take a while to build up that equity that you want. And also, as an owner of a home, guess what? Who does the repairs? When you're renting, landlord does the repairs, don't they? Yep. Now you're a homeowner, you get to do the repairs, so you want to make sure that you put in your monthly budget. Not just the cost of mortgage, not just the cost of insurance, but also put aside some money for repairs. It's generally recommended 1 to 3% of your cost of your home. It's a good idea to set aside for repairs. And it's usually about 6 months worth of repairs. Because every time something goes wrong in a house, it's not something that was planned on. All of a sudden you wake up one day and the heater blows up. Did you plan on that? No. So that's why you definitely want to have a budget for repairs.
Did you really want to tell them that?
Well, full disclosure, right?
Well, and the thing is that also, if you've got children in school,
Yes.
the stability of owning your own home and not having to move to a different neighborhood, the children will love you for that.
Yes. That's a biggie.
I think we're ready to wrap it up.
So, in closing, we'd like to ask you that if you would like more information, we will be happy to send you a PDF report of today's video so that you can see for yourself the advantages and disadvantages and make the educated decision that fits your situation. All you need to do is at the end of this video is our contact information. You can pause it on our contact information, email us, text us, call us. Either one of those 3 ways, and we will respond to you right away. And do put your comments down below. Like us on Facebook. Aloha.
Aloha.